Okay, this is what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try to do a really quick recap of the whole series. And here we go. It starts off at a coffee shop, and all of a sudden, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman go missing. Where they go missing, they go to this kind of like parallel, alternate alien dimension where they're worshipped a million years ago in time and become gods. And they set up this cool chapel. Elsewhere, there's a space egg that aliens are fighting over with Despero's involved, and it's stolen or missing or broken or something. And then, sorry. And then certain heroes, as the world starts to split down the middle, start to switch personalities and change and forget who they are. And then they go to this parallel dimension where the aliens are. And then they get the backstory of these gods. And they're like, oh, my God, I think those are the people who we're looking for.
No
and then
way.
They show up to the church. And then they're kind of like, hey, somehow there's an alien space dog that factors into this that used to be Green Lantern. And I don't remember how. And then there's battles in space, and they eventually fix everybody's reality. And then there's another big battle with all the villains, and all the heroes are kind of like,
what they say? Hey, let's fight!
Yeah, hey, let's fight. And they're like, hey, let's fight! And so they're fighting to save reality, even though they haven't chosen the fake one or the new one that they're going to choose, and the villains get beat. And then all the heroes, they find out that the egg is this Kronos guy, and then they're like, give us back our space dog friend. And then they put him in stasis, and he breaks out of it, and then Crime Syndicate is fighting with Riddler guy, and he gets stabbed, and his daughter is in a space bubble and is broken. All right.
Okay, well, don't forget the flirting.
Flirting with the world, so on and stuff. Okay, so the last issue of Trinity number 52 breaks down like this.
Okay, here it is, folks. For the final time, Donnie does Trinity.
Whee! I'm so excited. Okay, so it starts off at the same stupid coffee shop that the whole series began at. So you're like, amazing. I bought 52 issues of this, and we're in the same place.
And everyone loves the superhero party.
Yeah, everybody loves it. You know what the best ones are? Where they show up in costume, and they're like, why are we doing this? Everybody knows who each other is, so... So the last issue ended with the whole storyline being summed up, and then the Crime Syndicate showing up being kind of like, well, there's 52 issues and only 51 issues of storyline, so hey, let's fight. And then they're like, oh yeah, you would want to fight us when we're all weak and like pounded after like a million years of fighting. And they're like, yeah, we would. And they're like, yeah, I bet you would because it's the only way you can beat us. And then they're like, yeah, so we don't care if we're cheap. We're going to beat you like that. And then they're like, oh yeah, not so fast. You know why? You don't think we got friends? We got friends. And then their friends show up. Yeah, like that part in The Wizard where the girl gets mad and she's like, you don't think I have friends? I have friends.
That's right, folks. We just referenced The Wizard.
Yeah. And then so the friends and the Trinity, who are now back in human form, they like face off against the Crime Syndicate, which isn't a big face off because they basically chicken out and they're like, oh, I'm out of here. And they go back to whatever crappy reality that they're from. The demon, Mr. Blood, shows up out of nowhere and he's like, oh, you guys having a problem with Morgan Le Fay? Well, check out this crazy rock I found. And she gets sucked into the rock. And then you might ask yourself, but whatever happened to that space dog that trapped Green Lantern? Well, it turns out that space dog is now where the Riddler, the alternate reality Riddler, keeps his dead daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, hey, dead daughter in the space sphere. Oh, don't worry about it. We're just going to put you in this robot dog. Green Lantern was in it. I'm sure it's fine. So he puts his daughter in that thing, and then they go back to the Crime Syndicate's Earth, and he's supposed to be kind of like, I guess, the superhero that has to mess with the Crime Syndicate from now on. Despero gets trapped by the Green Lantern Corps, which is like...
At which point we all go, hey, where you guys been?
Yeah, exactly. The whole Corps? Really? When the whole world
Who's watching space?
Yeah, when the whole world was falling apart and there was only one Green Lantern being like, ah! Why were you guys then? But then they were kind of like, okay, so now we got Despero. And for some reason, as if there's going to be a sequel to the series, Kanjar Row is like hiding on the ship that's carrying Despero. He's like, they'll never see me here. Yeah, this is the last issue, buddy. If you wanted to make a move, it should have been issues ago. Oh, and then remember Gangbuster? Me neither. Gangbuster and the girl with the tarot cards? I don't remember that either, Donnie. Yeah, me neither. They fall in love. And those really lame supervillains, the guy with the floaty head and the ape girl and the sun chained and ink guy who was also somebody else at one point. I don't really know what that was about. They're kind of like, they're heroes, but I can't remember why. Everyone's kind of like, hey, you guys got a bad rap, but you're not so bad, even though you were supervillains before. What? Yeah. And then the end of the book is all just kind of heroes being kind of like, this is a swell party. You're like, you're right. It is a swell party. And then someone's like, is that trouble in the distance? And everyone's like, don't worry. The big guys got them. And then Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman go to save the day with all the other heroes in tow.
Wow.
And then somebody was like, Batman, aren't you dead? Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then Corona, who was like the big space egg guy, apparently his space egg powers are taken away from him, and then he gets sent back to that weird alien dimension where the Trinity were worshipped as gods to be tortured forever. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It was at least consistent.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Well,
and there it is. Donnie Does Trinity has come to an end.
At your used bookstore soon in my local area, because I don't want them anymore. This is a copy of Trinity 50K. It's done! Over! Vince Carter over. It's over. I'm done. No more Trinity.